listen up, girls and boys, porque women business right now, porque obviamente I'm irresponsible y tenía que esperar hasta el último possible second of the day para grabar. So we're on a time crunch porque se nos va la luz. Así que vamos con todo, porque si no, we won't get this done and we need to get this done porque se nos acaba el año. Okay, so hola, by the way, hello, how are you? I'm like all business right now and I forgot to say hi. Okay, now let me just tell you qué vamos a hacer today. So, con el año ending, that means año nuevo, right? Año nuevo means a whole new challenge for us readers, and that means getting more books in el TBR. So with that being said, I wanna tell you guys 24 books I want to read in 2024. There's not much of a system going on when I chose estos libros para tell you guys about. Algunos son viejos, algunos son partes de series, algunos son partes de series que ya me empecé, algunos son random, algunos son new releases del 2024, which I'm very excited about. So let's get to it. By the way, I also want to say que algunos de estos como I truly have zero idea de qué se tratan, and I like going into books blind, like not knowing anything about them. Así que muchos no sé de qué se tratan. I probably know like the genre, like fantasy or romance or whatever it is. So I'll tell you guys that, but other than that, I can't tell you como much more. So I'll just try to do my best. Let's get to number one. First, lo dividí como en categorías. So I have like the random ones, the ones como que I'm finishing or continuing the series, new series for myself, not necessarily que sean como new series that are coming out or came out como this year, pero new series to me. And then new releases del 2024. Entonces como libros que no han salido todavía, que voy a leer definitely cuando salgan. Los primeros tres son de categoría random. So, number one libro que me quiero leer el 2024 es The Dead Romantics. Este está como en el category random porque es un standalone book that I've had in mi TBR desde like a few years now, and I always look at it, always want to read it, never read it. Creo que se trata de un ghost author. If you don't know what that means, it's when a person writes a book for someone else and they say like, yeah, this is my book, but it's not, it's the ghost author. You know what I mean? Es medio como then a ghost. It's like a romance with a ghost, is what I've heard. Me intriga mucho y lo tengo hace mucho tiempo como visto, and I never read it, so I really want to read it en 2024. Number two, I have Beach Read, the Emily Henry, and now I know.
How have you not read Beach Read yet? Like, have you been living under a rock? Like, what's going on?
Everyone's read Beach Read. In fact, el único libro que me leyó de Emily Henry is People We Meet on Vacation, and that was like a long time ago. And now I've seen people talking about their favorite Emily Henry books, and I've seen that a lot of people love Beach Read, so I really want to read it. I think I need to at this point, así que eso, también es tan random porque standalone, once again. Número 3, I have The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Tengo este libro, let me tell you, desde el 2021. Sitting there. And I haven't read it. I got like 10 pages in and then nunca lo seguí. Like non-fiction kinda self-help books aren't really on my comfort zone. I'm a fiction girly through and through. I'm a romance and fantasy girly through and through. So this, you can see how this is not really in my comfort zone. However, he escuchado mucha gente decir que este libro les ha cambiado la vida, and I'm like, okay, what am I missing out on? I need to read this book. Also random category. Ahora cambiando categorías, I have the ones that are series que estoy finishing or continuing. First, I have A Curse for True Love, de Stephanie Garber. Es el tercero en el series de Once Upon a Broken Heart. El segundo es The Ballad of Never After, and if you saw my last video, you saw que The Ballad of Never After is one of my favorite books del 2023. Este libro ya salió, and the fact that I haven't gotten it is ridiculous to me. En verdad estoy esperando el paperback. So when that comes out, I'll read it. Number 5, I have Ignite Me, de Sarah Maffey. Con todos los authors de estos libros, I am so sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I really am trying. She is the author del Shatter Me series, que es un series de como 8 libros at this point, I think. And I read Shatter Me and Unravel Me. Actually, maybe pasa como una novela entre esos y Ignite Me. I'm not sure, pero voy a dejar Ignite Me como el tercero. I feel like I really should continue as a series. By the way, as dystopian. I really liked it cuando lo leí. Como I have no reason for como no haberlo seguido. So I feel like I need to. Ahora cambiamos de categoría again. And we go into new series for myself. I thought about putting como a bunch of books in a series para este video, but for the sake of making this video fun, I decided if I say el nombre del primero un series, just assume que I mean the whole series. Now, will I finish todos estos series que voy a nombrar el 2024? Probably not. I don't think it's physically possible, but I'll try my best. Number 6, drumroll, please. I can't believe I'm saying this. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read any Sarah J. Maas books ever. I saw a bunch of videos en TikTok de varias personas explicando como how to navigate the Sarah J. Maas world. And I saw most people say que the best way to start out es empezando con Agotar, que es a whole series que no está terminado todavía, pero el primero se llama A Court of Thorns and Roses. Creo que hay 5 out at the moment, and I just ordered the first 2. So those are on the way. I feel like I have a bunch of books que son como, people are gonna look at me like, ¿cómo no he leído esos libros? Like, what do you mean you haven't read these books? But I haven't. So number 7, I have Fourth Wing. So assume I also mean the second one que se llama Iron Flame, I think. I haven't read Fourth Wing, and like surprise surprise, I haven't read it porque no ha salido el paperback en la página que los compro. That's what's kept me from reading Fourth Wing. Es un fantasy romance, I'm pretty sure there's dragons, all the fun. Number 8, I actually have this one. We have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. Now, I feel like don't even get me started, but also I'm about to get started. Porque if you know me, you know that the Off-Campus and Briar U series are some of my favorite books ever in my life. They hit different. I love them. I love the characters. I love the world. Si yo pudiera vivir en un mundo que no fuera right here, sería en Off-Campus, marrying this girl's dad. No va a seguir porque si no este video va a durar como 18 años, and that's not what we want. Pero este es el primero, como she's Garrett and Hannah's daughter, and she's also a hockey player, but Briar U, like parents like daughter. Y ahí conoce a Luke Ryder, que también es a hockey player, I'm pretty sure. And I've also heard really good things. A veces me da un poco de miedo con spin-offs, sobre todo de my favorite series, porque me da miedo que it doesn't like live up to the standard that I have with those books, you know what I mean? So I'm very excited about this one. Number 9, I also have this one. I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and whoa. Crooked Kingdom es el segundo. Es un duology, and I've heard great things. Sé que va antes un series que se llama, you've probably heard of it, se llama Shadow and Bone. Es una serie en Netflix. But I've heard it's not as good as this one, y que I can read this one antes que esa. And no me llama la atención Shadow and Bone, to be completely honest. Entonces I'm just going into these. Now, again, Blind. It's a fantasy. That's all I've heard. It's a fantasy, and I've also heard there's like el found family aspect, which I love in books, so I'm very excited. And número 10, we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. when I say this, I also mean Daisy Hates, porque I think it's Magnolia Parks 1, Daisy Hates 1, Magnolia Parks 2, Daisy Hates 2, and then el 2024 sale el tercero Magnolia Parks, so I haven't even read the first one and I'm excited. He escuchado que lo comparan a Gossip Girl, so I'm very excited about that porque estoy watching Gossip Girl right now. I was going to get it and then there was a problem con mi order and they refunded it este año, so I'm gonna try again el 2024. Número 11, we have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Es un YA fantasy. I think it's a fantasy. Creo que se trata de this girl and this guy que trabajan como in the same thing and they're always like, they're rivals, como work rivals. Número 12, I have Kingdom of the Wicked, que es un series de 3. I've heard como mixed reviews, but I've just heard a lot about the male main character, if you know me. I think his name is Wrath, and I've heard like los últimos libros son mejores. The people that really like these books really like them, so also fantasy romance. Número 13, we have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and if you know me, I've read the Dreamland Billionaire series y el primero de Dirty Air series, y me gustaron caleta. So I really want to read Love Redesigned, que es el primero de un series. It's also a billionaire series. I can't remember el nombre, but it's also a billionaire series, and después de Declan Kane, gotta love the billionaires, written by Lauren Asher. Next, 14, we have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. All I know, it's a cowboy romance, y después de leer Chestnut Springs by Elsie Silver, I'm trying to get all the cowboy I can get. Número 15, we have The Prison Healer. It's also fantasy, I think. What I've heard, it's about this girl that's at a prison, and then the queen or something comes in and she needs to heal the queen, and then I've just heard great things about it, so I want to read it. Número 16, we have Wonder Window, que tiene 2 out at the moment. I don't know si van a seguir sacando más or if it's just a duology. When I tell you I know absolutely nothing about this book, I know it's a fantasy, that's it. That's it. And I've heard great things, so I want to read it. Número 17, we have The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Y siento que el 2024 I want to get more into mystery, thrillers, murder mystery kind of moments. Porque he leído como a few, and none of them have been like all that great for me. And I've heard nothing but good things about Frida McFadden's books. So sobre todo The Housemaid, so I really want to read that one. I also think es como hay como 3 out right now, so I want to dip my toe more into thrillers, mystery. Número 18, we have The Sweetest of Leave-In. También es un series. I'm pretty sure it's mafia romance. Would you categorize that as a dark romance? Because if you would, I kind of want to read más dark romances, but the last one I read I didn't like. Now don't come at me, but that last one I read was Hunting Adeline, and I hated that book. I'm so sorry if you like it. It's not for me. It wasn't for me. And I've heard that mafia romance it's a better dark romance for people like me, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but I've heard it's good, so I want to read it. Número 19, I have Red Rising. Now, this is me stepping out of my comfort zone, porque Red Rising y como el series de Red Rising is science fiction, and I've never read science fiction in my life, but I've heard it's really good. I've heard like the comparison to the Hunger Games, but in space. It piqued my interest, so I want to read it. Next, y el último de la categoría de new series to me es, okay, I say this very lightly, but I'm gonna say it, okay? Throne of Glass. I do say it very lightly for the fact que quiero leer todo ACOTAR, and I also heard que entre ACOTAR and Throne of Glass I should read Crescent City, but I'm not sure. but I've also heard that Throne of Glass is like the best series de Sarah J Maas, so I put it in there. Don't hold it against me porque maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. Next, y nueva categoría, we have new releases del 2024. En número 21, we have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Es el que viene después de Powerless. And if you saw my last video, you know que Powerless fue mi libro favorito de todo el año, del 2023. The way that I love that book, you don't even know. Voy a hacer el segundo. And I'm gonna read it. Cambio de tema porque si no, no dejar de hablar de Powerless. Número 22. Not this one. If only I had told her. If you saw my last video, you would have seen que me leí If He Had Been With Me. Y ese es en el POV de Autumn. And If Only I Had Told Her es en el POV de Finney. I can't think about it too much because I'll end up crying again, like I will. It's heart-wrenching, el libro, y obviamente I want to suffer apparently, so I'm gonna read Finney's POV. Número 23. We have a Wildfire, but I also put it next to Daydream, porque este obviamente ya salió, y Daydream es el tercero de este series. Este viene después de Icebreaker, y Daydream es el tercero, que este va a ser el 2024, and I also want to read it, and I have this one that I haven't started, but I also want to read it in 2024. El primero es un hockey romance. Este, I think they're like at a summer camp, son como summer camp counselors or something. Y el tercero creo que es como tutor romance. Last but not least, we have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. If you know me, you know I read todo Chestnut Springs este año. And este es el new series that she's coming out with. I just read que está en el mismo mundo que Chestnut Springs, pero es en otro lugar. If they dare mention the characters in Chestnut Springs, I'm gonna cry, and I'm very excited for it. Wait, should I turn on the light? Maybe I should have done this before. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope for all you guys, all you readers, that you have a great reading year el 2024. I hope you had a great reading year el 2023, and I'm very excited to read so much more. Me voy a poner como a bigger reading challenge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.